Cinematography.
Hello, welcome to Cineverm, a weekly podcast discussing films in and out of the cinema. My name is Anthony Renteria.
And I'm David.
And this week on episode 37, we're discussing Annette, starring Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, written by Ron and Russell Mael and directed by Leos Carax. And here's the synopsis. The story of Henry, a stand-up comedian with a fierce sense of humor, and Anne, a singer of international renown. In the spotlight, they are the perfect couple, healthy, happy, and glamorous. The birth of their first child, Annette, a mysterious girl with an exceptional destiny, will change their lives. All right, so I think you've seen Leos Carax's other films, like Holy Motors is one that I always hear about. Have you seen that?
I've only seen Holy Motors. Yeah, that's the only other
Okay.
one. He's weird because he's only made 6 movies in like 40 years. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, so he doesn't make many. But
And it seems like he's known for something, I guess. Like now I know from this film, but was there any similarities between this and Holy Motors in your opinion?
Yeah, like his style is definitely like similar in all his movies. They're very like I was watching clips from the other movies that I haven't seen, and they're all very visual is the primary. I feel like his primary focus is just how it looks and the visuals aspect of it. And Holy Motors was very loose. This Annette at least has a story, and a very simple story if you sum it up. But Holy Motors is not. It's more dreamlike and just going kind of morphing from one scene to another, and they're all weird and different. And so and I didn't really like Holy Motors that much when I saw it, even though people were very I don't know, that maybe that was the one where that he really became famous for, but it's probably just because his previous film was in like 1997 or something. Like he really hasn't, he hasn't directed many. So,
So I guess it's like the return excitement. Well, and I guess we should say that this film is it's a rock opera musical.
Yeah, that's a good
So
way
what
to. Yeah.
What were your thoughts about Annette after you finished viewing it?
Well, I was during viewing it too. It's very like the first 30 minutes or so. I was like, oh no, this is very cringe. This is not good. I was immediately disappointed because it's just like the music, just the thing that is like the most important thing about a musical was like the worst thing about this movie, which was the music and the lyrics. They sucked. I'm not even gonna mince words. Like they're just bad, except for maybe like 1 or 2 songs that I was like, wow, it looks like they actually put some effort into these lyrics or whatever. But besides that, just God, like that's your main thing. You're a musical, but it's just but what's weird though is the more I watched it, it actually did kind of like get me into the story for some reason. Like the more I watched it, like 3/4 of the way through it, I was kind of actually just from there on, I was just invested sort of like into the story, but it was still kind of cringe. Like whenever they would, and I guess the worst thing was just that I was just always relieved when they stopped singing, when it was just a scene that they were just talking. Like it was such a relief. And I was just like, oh man, I hope if only this movie had not been a musical and had just been a story with these actors that are all good actors, and this could have just been a really visually interesting, weird kind of movie. But yeah, then the music just sucked. I don't know. What did you think about it?
Oh man, so I went into it not knowing anything. I think this is like one of the first movies that you've tried not watching a trailer or anything for as well.
Yeah.
And I was insanely excited. I'm a huge Adam Driver fan. Like I think he's probably one of the best working actors that we have. Like just I think he has that capacity. And I think there's a few scenes in this film
Yeah.
which are probably the stuff that I like about this film the most is how strong Adam Driver is as a performer. Like the words he says in this film are like so stupid and bad, and the music that he sings is so awful. Yet like I don't know. It almost feels like everyone else is like, everyone's like turned up to like 11. Like it's very theatrical. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember after I watched this, I was like, "Is this based on a play?" Like it just seems like a really bad like high school play
Yes.
that I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
watched a film version of, and it's not.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, God, like what? I don't know. But back to the Adam Driver thing. I think I don't know how. Like if you were to remove Adam Driver from this film, I think the whole film would just collapse under its strange weight of weirdness. But somehow he like anchors the whole like narrative, and it's all just through his performance, even though his character like has no real growth or like point or like, and I feel like the whole story is like that. Like the whole film is like metaphorically exactly the experience of listening to one of the songs, where it's literally beating you over the head with what the song
Oh my
like
God.
like
Yeah.
like I don't think it's a spoiler, but there's like this. There's a well, yeah, because there's a birth scene with Annette when she is born, and it's just the nurses are literally saying breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and that's the song. That's the song lyrics for like a whole minute,
Yep.
and it's like like the whole film feels like it has that much depth. Like the amount of depth that is in these songs is the amount of depth in the film, but somehow through Adam Driver, I feel like I don't know. I ended up like really being attached to the narrative just to see his performance uh through, I guess. Like I was just
Mm.
like I just really want to see where his character ends up. And then I thought the ending was sloppy, but that'll be for the spoilers. But in general, I mean, this film made me question my sanity because I am a huge musical fan.
Really?
Yeah, I love musicals. I love songs. Like any musical, like off the top, is like an automatic like 5 out of 10. Is like the bottom of the barrel. And this film made me like, wait, are all musicals bad? Like, have I like are all musicals like I started like getting paranoid. It's like, and then I like listened back to like some of my favorites like Sweeney Todd and
Hmm.
La La Land and some
Yeah.
other ones. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm good. I'm fine. This movie is just a problem in itself.
Did you ever watch like the Les Miserables like remake that they made like a few years ago with shoot Wolverine? What's that actor's name?
Hugh Jackman
Yeah, Hugh
and
Jack. Yeah,
Anne
yeah.
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. That I never saw it, but because of the reviews and what everyone said about it and the clips that I've seen, is just that they made the horrible decision to just have all these actors singing, live on set, even though most of them aren't singers, and they use the audio from from their performances on set, and I'm just like, I bet you that's what that movie feels like, is this movie, but probably even worse because there's probably more singing. But yeah, just it's a bad decision because yeah, Adam Driver's a great actor, but he ain't a good singer. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
he is not a good singer, and he just sounds weird when he's singing, and it takes you out of it, and ugh, just bad. Because I feel like the director picked these actors because he just wanted to work with them. Like he pictured them in the story,
Yeah.
and like he said that, I think the director said that in an interview, it's like he picked these actors because he really wanted them to be those characters, and he pictured them, as those characters. But and then I also in an interview, the director said that the reason he wanted to do a musical was because he's kind of like a failed musician. That was his first passion, and
Yeah.
so he wanted to be a musician, and it didn't work out, and so he became a filmmaker, and it did work out. So I guess he just said he always wanted to do a musical just because just out of spite or whatever. But it's like just I feel like that was just there's a reason that he that he didn't become a musician. He just doesn't have like the ear for it. I don't know. I mean, God,
Yeah.
if I was like let's say I was starting to direct this movie, and then like we had some of these takes and like performances, I would have just been like really depressed because I just would have known that this is not going to work very well. This is just not going to work.
I wonder what the mood on the set was, because there's no way you could be in these scenes and not be like, wait, what are we like?
Like, this is awkward.
Yeah, like it looks awkward in film. Yep. Like the only person that I feel like is like 1,000,000% committed is like Adam Driver. Like his character never breaks, and I just feel like for some reason his over theatrical performance makes sense, where like in some other and some of the other actors it feels very like, it feels like I'm watching a play, where Adam Driver, I feel like he's a real actor stuck in a play.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't know it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I really liked Simon Helberg as the conductor. Like, for some reason,
my God, yeah.
his two scenes, like when he first appeared, I was like, whoa! Like the way he was saying the stupid lines and also singing the stupid lyrics, it actually made sense. Like, he made it less worse by the way he was saying it. Adam Driver didn't do that to me. Like, he didn't make it any better. But then all of a sudden, when Simon Helberg came on the screen and he, was whatever, he's ranting at first about just being whatever, an accompanist. I don't know what that word is, but yeah, like I was like, wow, the way he's saying it is making this make sense. And I kind of, in my head secretly, I kind of was wishing, or I was imagining, what if he was the lead and Adam Driver was the conductor? And I mean, I know I don't know. I just, for some reason, he was more natural.
Yeah.
And then also shout out, I don't want to spoil anything, but shout out to the little girl in the movie.
Yeah.
That actress, Devin McDowell is her name. She's like 5 years old, but dang, like I was like, she kind of made some other actors in the movie look bad because I was like, for a 5-year-old, like, she's making these lyrics sound good, and what she's saying, it sounds better. Or I don't know, maybe that song, the only song that she really sings, was a better than average, but I don't know. So there were some like highlights, but mostly not.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think I enjoyed any of the Adam Driver songs. Well, I didn't enjoy any of the songs, but yeah, I feel like that conductor scene was very cheesy at first, and then once he got into his second verse, I was like, okay, I actually like this, because he was so committed, like his performance, like his body movements, and like he was literally crying, like pouring emotions. And then, I mean, I don't know if anything he did made sense to what conductors actually do, but it looked good. Like, I just imagine everyone on that set piece who were playing the instruments, they're like, God, he's going through a lot right now.
Oh, I also wanted to say, I didn't say this earlier, but like, just for context, okay, like this band Sparks that wrote this whole album, supposedly they had this whole album done and written back in 2012, and they were gonna like tour with it, but then they realized, I don't know, they didn't have enough actors or something. But then Carax, however you saw his name, he made Holy Motors, and he used one of their songs in the movie. So they met him at, I don't know, Sundance or Cannes or somewhere, and like told him about this album idea. And he just, apparently he listened, I guess they had recordings or something, and he listened to it and really liked the idea. And then that's when they started developing it. But to me, that just makes that makes it even worse to me. The fact that the songs and everything have been around for like 9 or 10 years. And in all that time, they didn't improve. They didn't work on the lyrics. Like, they didn't make it any better than what it is. Yeah. That's just super depressing to me. Because to me, like, watching this, I was like, if you gave the average person the concepts for these songs and told them, like, you have to write these songs by tomorrow, like, the average person could probably do a similar effort for most of these songs, just writing these dumb, just obvious, like, there's a song called "We Love Each Other So Much," and that's what most of the lyrics are. There's a song called "I'm an oh my god, this word, accompanist, and that's what most of the lyrics are in the song. There's like that's most of these songs.
Yeah.
It's like it's just depressing.
Yeah, and I don't understand like that the fact that it was imagined as an album, created as an album. So like if you were to remove all the film from this film, like just if you were to just listen to this as an album,
which
I
you
think
can, they have a soundtrack, but
oh god,
yeah,
I think there would be there'd be no merit to it, you know,
no,
because like I don't understand how these lyrics, like they would just be like it's worse than an exposition dump. It's literally just telling you the most obvious thing, and like it was insane just listening to it. And then it's what's weird. I just realized Ron and Russell Mael, they are the Sparks brothers, and they wrote. Okay, so it's not only the songs; like the whole script is written by them, which is interesting because like I feel like all the non-musical parts, like the actual core plot of this film
was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it could be like a 10 out of 10. Like if you were to get like I love Adam Driver, but let's say if you were to make the comedian more of like, and I feel like they were kind of hinting at it, but if you were to just like take Bo Burnham's kind of comedy, slap it in there, and then you have whatever actress, because that whole part didn't really make sense. I don't know. There's enough of a plot here where I think you could just with better songs, it would make the film infinitely better. Like I kept thinking throughout watching the movie, I was like, God, why didn't like Tim Burton direct this? Like I feel like Tim Burton would have had a field job. Like, and not to spoil anything, but like if people watch the film, I feel like there's a moment where you're like, is that whatever? And then it is, and then you're like, I don't know what's going on with this film. And then that's when I was like, why didn't Tim Burton just do this? Like he would have fucking nailed it.
Or for some reason, I was also thinking Charlie Kaufman once again because I was like, you know, like it reminded me. Some of it reminded me of the stop motion. What was that movie that he did in stop motion? Oh God, I'm the worst at remembering names of things.
Anomalisa.
Anomalisa, yeah. For some reason, parts of it reminded me of that, and then I was just thinking of like these characters almost seem like Charlie Kaufman characters that are like there's no. That was another thing that kind of hurt the movie. That's like, oh yeah, these characters have such hard lives. They're they're living in their mansion. You know, one of them is a successful comedian, and one of them is a successful opera singer. And it's like, I don't know. It was just a little bit, it made it really pretentious, especially the comedian parts where it's like, oh, he hates the audience, but he wants their applause. And it's just like, give me a break. Like you're a comedian for a living. Like just chill out.
That's like one of my biggest pet peeves of like all films when they have someone doing whatever occupation, but specifically in art. So here it's the comedian. Like, why can't the comedy actually be good? Like, why can't you hire like an actual comedian if you don't feel competent enough to like come
jokes.
up with, like make it a real like if you watch this, you could be like, oh, that guy would make it as a comedian in our world. Like that's kind of like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, because it definitely didn't. It was super awkward. His quote unquote comedy was very awkward.
Man.
Yeah. Have we covered all the non-spoiler bases?
Yeah. So what is your rating out of 10?
I think I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 for now because it's like the things that were good about it, like the fact that if you removed all the music, it would have been a much better movie, and the visuals are very nice. And I mean, there were lots of moments where the cinematography was really nice. The acting was fine. The story was semi-interesting. So it would have been higher, but the core, my 4 out of 10s are usually, it's like there's some glaring flaw to the movie that just kind of ruins it or keeps it from being either an average movie or better. So yeah, 4 out of 10.
Okay. Well, I think. Oh man, here I am again. All right, so I think I really liked Adam Driver's performance. Like, I will nominate him officially to Best Actor of the Year. Like, I don't know. I just like absolutely loved. Like, there's his second comedy bit that we'll get into the spoilers. Like, that was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, I would watch a whole movie of him just fucking improving or doing whatever on a stage. So I feel like I came off a lot warmer. The other thing we forgot to mention is it's not just the lyrics of the songs that sucked for me or that made me question reality. It was like the actual music, like the composition
Yeah.
of said songs, like what it sounded like some like I don't even know, like music you get off what is it called, like royalty free. Like, it just
Yeah.
sounded like generic rock. Like, it didn't even sound like rock. It was just like
No.
sounds. And
Garage
then it was,
band
yeah,
loops.
yeah, like background music in some like crappy rock bar in a movie from like 10 years ago that
Which
would
is so,
play.
it's like so sad, and I feel kind of bad because it's like that band, that Sparks, like they've literally, the band has been around since 1966. Like they're, it's like they're experienced songwriters, and they're really super experienced musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing. I don't even, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I don't know how you could, like, it must, like, I remember I texted you, I was like, I feel like this film is like the definition of a shit post. So, like, everyone here has way more talent than they're showing, and experience and knowledge. And it's just like, how did it come out like this? Like, was this on purpose? Like, are they questioning society? I don't know. But I did feel a lot of emotions. I liked Adam Driver. I liked his performance. I liked the plot. I liked a lot of the visuals, the cinematography. There was a lot of interesting like shot designs. There was an interesting use of like, I could tell they had like an extremely tight budget, and there was some like very interesting ideas that I guess they used to like handle that we can get into in the spoilers. So with all of that, I think I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah. But all right, so that concludes our review portion of Annette. If you don't want to be spoiled, you can pause the podcast now. And while you do that, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review or comment on what you thought about the film or our takes on it. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or email us at cineverm@yahoo.com. And also check out our snazzy website, cineverm.com. All right, David, let's spoil this thing.
Yeah, what do you want to start with?
I guess we should start with. Let's start with the biggest thing, which was the use of a doll, like a ventriloquist doll as a daughter. Like, what did
I actually liked that. Like, I would say that's one of the things I liked about, like, one of the risks that the movie took that actually paid off, and I thought it was cool. And a lot of the scenes were really, I don't know, the puppeteering or whatever, it was really convincing. If you just kind of, just suspended your disbelief, I was like, this is kind of a cool thing because it's realistic in a way. I don't know what it was, the movements of it or how the actors were interacting with it. So I thought that was cool, and to watch it like age, and as it got older, and then obviously the end, they actually used the metaphor of the puppet. Like there was a reason it was a puppet, because it was kind of like, it was a puppet to Adam Driver, and also maybe to the wife, but well, not really, because she died, but then the reveal of the real girl, and that, hey, this is a real human being, and she was kind of like casting aside the puppet. He didn't have control of her anymore, and so I thought that was nice. That was a nice. They had a reason for it. It wasn't just random or just weird to be weird.
Yeah, I agree, because like it took me off guard when it first happened, and then like the metaphor started setting in place, and then how you're saying at the end when they kind of do the switch, and I feel like the film kind of I mean, overall it kind of sucked, but like the endings specifically, like I feel like that should have been like a huge moment. Like when you kind of reveal and do your big emotional scene, like the little girl, her singing and all that, and she was cute and all that stuff. And she did awesome, but like on Adam Driver's side, I felt like that was probably his weakest scene in the whole film. Like I didn't feel anything and I was just confused. And then like the songs they sang, like I don't know, it was like usually in musicals, like, and I always love this, and this is like the most, and it's weird they didn't go with this like generic cheesy trope, is they always do like an ending song that kind of like has elements of like multiple other songs that were in the film, and they all kind of like
a
blend
medley.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, well at least we'll get one of those, and then we don't, like we just get the like a little bit of the "we love each other so much," which is literally just a sentence. But I don't know. That was disappointing. Like it was like a wet fart ending, is what I felt.
You know what's weird is that for some reason that scene, although I agree with like what you're saying, that scene for some reason actually gave me movie chills for like a minute, because
Whoa.
like during the song, there's something about like when they were both singing simultaneously, their different messages, and something about the emotions actually, like I was like, all right, well, it's not like I decided, it was just like, oh, I felt it,
Yeah.
I like actually felt like that this is how the tragedy of it that they were trying to show, which is just that she was used, and I don't know, something about it resonated for like a minute, and yeah, so I like that. I like that scene.
Nice.
That was maybe one of the better scenes in the movie, like musical scenes especially. But
Oh yeah. You're right. I think that was probably second only to the Conductor. Like
yeah,
the actual best musical moment of the film were those two.
ha-
Um,
like it actually felt meaningful and emotional for a minute.
all right.
You felt the repercussions and the
Yeah.
I don't know.
It at least tied all the like threads together. Even though I felt like it was a wet fart, it still tied everything together. I can see how you felt something real. Well, speaking about the daughter, so I just had this thought, because like I thought she was flying in the one scene where she's like in the middle of the theater for the first time and she's like floating.
Yeah.
I thought she like literally could just fly, and I was like, all right, that makes sense. I mean, she's a doll. But then like in the Super Bowl halftime show,
Yeah.
they have her with like drones and like kind of floating with like this like strings and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, wait, so since that was just like a visual metaphor that he saw her as a doll and no one else really did, that means they had like a 5 or 8 year old or however young child just floating in the air via drones in the middle of a Super Bowl fucking stadium
Yeah.
on like a
Good
fucking,
point.
I don't even know what that was, like a cone, like a
Yeah, that's weird.
inverted
Upside
pyramid.
down triangle. Yeah. That's very weird. Yeah, yeah. He obviously didn't care about her safety. Yeah. That Super Bowl scene was weird and kind of, I mean, first of all, funny because it didn't at all come across as the actual Super Bowl at all. It
Yeah.
was like if you told someone who had never watched the Super Bowl and then they tried to make a scene out of it. It was kind of funny. But I guess it was supposed to be stylized, but it was kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely like a French director
Yeah.
making a scene about the Super Bowl. But and it's like, oh yeah, she would definitely be playing the Super Bowl halftime show for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like it was cool that a little girl could sing, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was that
Yeah,
level of like, if it was like Adele's voice, then maybe, we're getting somewhere, but
that was a
just,
little weird. Yeah. Like I understand it would get like a lot of views online maybe at first because she's so young and oh she can sing, but then it wouldn't in reality be a thing that people cared about.
yeah.
She would
Oh,
be on
man.
America's Got Talent and that's
Yeah.
it. That would be it.
Oh my God. Oh, so I guess
What about the comedy stuff? Because you seem to kind of like that, but like that. Oh, to me, that was like, if not more cringe than the music, it was at least as cringe as the music and the lyrics
oh,
in the
the
movie.
comedies, the like
Yes, just
performances.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All the comedy scenes of him doing quote unquote comedy. Like I couldn't tell if that was just supposed to be a parody of comedy, so it was supposed to be bad. We were supposed to be cringing because
Yeah.
it's just a parody, or are we actually kind of supposed to just to think that he would actually make people laugh?
I
I don't.
think it's literally just how it's this like I don't know where he's from. Let's just say he's French, the director.
French. He's French, yeah.
Okay. So like just how you said it was like a French interpretation of someone who's never seen the Super Bowl. It just heard about it and like understands the concept. I feel like he heard or understood the concept of like crude stupid American humor. Like
Yeah,
and like there's a lot of cringe comedians now. Like I'm thinking about
yeah,
I forgot his name. But anyways, they're all on like Comedy Central where they just like
right.
it's just weird and just until you cringe and then you start laughing because it's awkward. So I feel like he got that concept and then wrote this version that is not at all what the reality of it is. So it turned out like horrible. But what I liked about those scenes, like I think how they're written and the actual scenes themselves are like horrible, like just garbage. But there's something about like Adam Driver's performance, like the fact that he just sells it, like even though it's awful and bad, like his actual performance of doing said thing just fascinated me, like his like his physicality, like let's just start with the first one when he's just like swinging the microphone around and he's just like walking around and he just has this like extreme like egotistical masculine like asshole energy, like I don't give a fuck or whatever, but it like I don't know, the way he like just performs that vibe, even though everything he's saying and performing is horrible. Like physically, I can sense like that he's internalized that character, and even though it's a bad character, like his performance still feels like really authentic. And then
Yeah,
leading to the second performance when he does like a little improv, well not improv, but he's like acting out how he killed his wife
yeah, yeah.
like through tickling. Like that's like bar none. That's probably the best scene that I've seen all year. Like from an actor's performance.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
like him just like lying on the ground, acting all feminine, and then in like 2 seconds running back up and like tickling her, and like the way he moved his body, like it just looked like I don't know. It just I just imagine like having Adam Driver in for like an audition, and I'm like, you're wrestling a dragon. You know, it's like the stupidest thing,
He would
and
do it
yet, and
and
yeah,
nail it.
and like he
Yeah.
used the microphone as like her dead body, and at one point
Yeah.
he like slaps her because she's
Yes, that
dead,
was
and he's
funny.
like
Yeah.
pissed, and then he started doing the CPR, and it's like screaming and is crying. Like that death scene felt better than like every death scene in like every other blockbuster film this year combined.
It was, yeah, I agree. That was like very well acted. And I was like, oh, look, he is just killing this.
Yeah,
This
and
ridiculous scene.
there
He's
is
killing
no
it.
reason no other actor would do that. You know, like I don't know. Like I don't know if it's just his level of commitment, and like I feel that from like all his performances, he's always the best part of every film. Like I hated the new Star Wars trilogy, but
Yeah.
even though Kylo Ren, I have to call him
Rilo
Ky-
Kin.
Kylo Ren or whatever, he is like his character, and I feel like in all three of those films just has a horrible arc, is like horribly written,
Yeah.
whatever, but his performance still feels like I don't know, there's just like something there that you can feel that character even
I'm
though
tell
everything around it is stupid.
Yeah, I feel like that's what got him started. That's his thing, is he has that like, because like I don't know if you've ever watched Girls. I mean, like the HBO show that he was, that was pretty much his breakout like role. Discovery, that might have been his first. I mean, yeah, his first major thing. But I've watched the audition, like it's on
Yeah.
YouTube, like his audition for that show, and it's just like, yeah, like he's always had that. I mean, that's why he got the part. I think it's just because he's very authentic,
Yeah.
and yeah, you believe him, but he's got the awkwardness, but also like like that kind of like crazy masculine energy as well, that just makes him a unique actor. There's a reason that he's successful, because he does have something unique. And it'll be interesting to see, like, he's going to be one of those that it's going to be interesting to watch, like, as he gets older, what, like, how that's going to how's that going to transform. I don't want to be like too overhyped, but I feel like it's going to be almost like watching like Al Pacino or like Robert De Niro, like through the year, like watching when they were young, and then watching how their acting chops, like transformed as they got older. And I don't know. So definitely a highlight of the movie.
Yeah. But it's weird because I feel like I like all his roles that he's picked or that he's been picked for or offered, but I feel like he hasn't had his like Taxi Driver or his like, I don't know, just like that one performance where like I guess like an Oscar performance or whatever, but just a film where like he can really dig into a character and it's like all about him. Like I feel like he's always like, even in this film, even though he's the main character, he's still like, it feels like the film is still kind of pushing him into like a secondary role because there's all these other characters that are affecting him. Like it never really feels like his movie per se. Like
maybe
it feels like,
what about Marriage Story? I mean, that's the closest to what you're thinking about. But yes, even then, it's both of them are equally important in that movie. So I would like to see like a Taxi Driver type movie with him, where it is all about him. Like, let's get like an A24 movie with Adam Driver as the lead. That's just like a character study type movie where he is some kind of isolated individual. So it can just focus on his character and just let him go with it. That'd be cool.
But he I get, and the other scene that I really liked, and it was so after the conductor reveals that he's had an affair or whatever, or no wait, this is way later, but they go to like some they're outside their house by the pool, and then I guess Adam Driver realizes that he's was having an affair or whatever, and just that interaction between them two, and like the size difference, because Adam Driver's like a hulking mass. And the way he just like pushes him around, like I actually got scared for the conductor performer, because I was like, that pool and I was just looking at the like concrete edging, and then like, he's gonna toss him in there, and I just started getting like nervous. And when he like grabbed him with one hand, and his body just like turned into nothing, and it just like flopped.
The actor commented about that in an interview and was like, I just had to like surrender and just let him just toss me around. Like I had no control at that point. But I thought that was cool. That was just because of the actors that they chose. It was a more interesting scene. Just physically. And just like, I like that kind of murder, like that style of murder where he's just kind of, it's almost like he's like not really committed to it until he finally does it. But like, he's just playing around with the idea, and he knows that he could do it. And he's just slowly, getting more and more physical with the guy until he actually, even at near the end, I thought, like maybe because he says like he didn't kill his wife. And I was like, he's just like scaring this guy, but nope. he just killed him.
Like he just slapping him around. I don't know. This movie made me realize how large Adam Driver's hands are. Like there's that
my god, we commented on that too when we were watching it. Like, damn,
when he's reaching out for his wife, I was like, oh my dude, this is a fucking like
big hands
slasher film.
He could definitely be like a really scary character in a movie, like, for sure.
Oh my god. But those three were my favorite scenes. With like, those three scenes were worth the entire 2.5 hour watch time, which I think the whole length of the film was not good. Like I feel like you could cut 35 to 40 minutes out of this film and it still be coherent.
Oh my god, sorry, I just googled Adam Driver is 6'2", and
holy shit,
the Simon Helberg is 5'4".
Wow.
So huge difference.
Holy crap,
that's scary. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else is there to like the visuals. I guess there was a lot of like cinematography that was really interesting, uh, that I noticed and made note of. Like, um, just even really quick silly things like the nightmare that he has right before the baby is born, and it
Oh
comes
yeah.
out as this horrifying clown baby, and that's I don't know, that was just fun. And then there's like a couple bedroom scenes where it's like doing this weird stuttering thing that like with time. I don't know if you noticed
Oh
that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
reminded me of like the only other place I'd seen that is the Twin Peaks, The Return. David Lynch did that in a couple of scenes, and it had a really strong effect. But in
Yeah.
these like quick scenes, I was like, oh, that's like an interesting little choice. There was a lot of like, what do you call that when you've got two like superimposed images? Like there was a lot of that. Like that
Yeah.
looked really interesting. Like the road at night, and like
Mm-hmm.
these images of I guess opera, uh, the lady in her opera like coming towards you as you're moving forward in the road. Like I don't know, cool things. There was a shot that I really liked where it was in the back seat from the perspective of the opera singer, and
Oh
on the
yeah.
on the TV in the car on the back of the seat in front of her, the TV, it's showing footage of a forest fire, I guess in California, and um, like the shot on the TV is like a car traveling down a road with like surrounded by just flames, and smoke.
Yeah.
But then also you're seeing her car traveling down the road and down just like a really
Ah.
idyllic like California highway, with
Yeah.
palm trees and stuff. And I just thought the contrast of that was that was just a really cool, that was a really cool choice to have that because it was a little disorienting or something, but it just showed which now that I think about it was weird because it was kind of to me it was showing like how insulated she was like her life, how privileged she was
Yeah.
as a character, but then it didn't really dig into that at all. But I just thought that was a cool shot. But like there's a brief shot of like the puppet baby after it's born being held by a gorilla or something that's supposed to
Oh
represent
yeah.
Adam Driver's character. I thought that was funny. I don't know. There's a lot of little things like that. Oh, the shot of her in the opera, like performing the opera, and the back curtains kind of go away, and then there's a huge metal door that just kind of goes up, and then there's just a forest back there, like
Yeah.
behind the stage, just a forest, and it does, it's very surreal, but it looks really good. And then she just kind of wanders off the stage back into the forest and has a song. But
Yeah.
lots of really good visual flourishes in this movie.
Yeah, like all those visuals were just so well done and like creative. Even like you were talking about the transparent ones. Like I
Mm-hmm.
started laughing at at one of them because it was like, oh, I was like totally game for it. But then there was the one where it was Marion's character and she's just like sitting in a dress, and it wasn't like the easy fade ins that he was doing in that scene previous to that one. She just like popped. Like it was just
Oh,
like her full body popped, and then it just started like getting really close.
oh, I
But
think I remember what you mean. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it was like
yeah,
right before that scene ended. But
kind of awkward. Yeah.
yeah, so like all those were so like creative, and like you could just automatically tell like this film was directed by a foreign guy just because of the visual language. I don't think any like Western director would ever do in like a Hollywood film, or even like A24 indie kind of films. Like it's so rare to see like those two images kind of fading in and out with each other, which I always love seeing that shit. But one thing that's interesting that you reminded me of with the play, and like she goes outside to the wilderness, and that's what I was trying to get at, which was like I feel like they had a really tight budget, and I
Mm.
could kind of tell they were trying to like do a lot of visual things, but as cheaply as possible. I really love, I guess the big, well, one of the climaxes of the film is when Marion's character dies, and you have
Mm-hmm.
like Adam Driver and her, and they're like on the ship, and you can just tell they don't even try to like fake like a green screen or whatever. They just have
No.
like some sort of screen displaying like imagery of waves, but it's
Yeah.
like it's like beyond reality. Like the waves are like 1,000 feet tall. Like it's just water. Like the whole screen is just water, and it's just crashing everywhere. And then you can tell the ship is like completely separated from the background, and then you can just tell they have like water cannons spraying randomly. And then like they're like rocking everything. I don't know. Like it looked so fake, but it felt like they just committed to it, and then the performers were like committed to it. I just liked how that looked visually. Like that
Yeah,
whole
I did too.
moment.
I really like that set. That was really cool. And yeah, the ridiculous, creepy, like it made the waves scary, even though they were
Yeah,
obviously fake. It made it scary because they're just totally surrounded by by waves, just towering over them, and the boat rocking, and yeah, the actual water. It was cool, and that was one of those scenes where it's like it makes you remember that you don't need like all the special like as long as you set the tone, I guess, of a movie being
yeah,
sort of surreal, like you could do that and it has the exact same emotional effect because
yeah,
your brain forgets because your brain suspends its disbelief and because you're just paying attention to the drama of whatever's happening in the moment. And yeah,
yeah.
like it's like I totally forgot for a little bit because I was just paying attention to their performances. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool to see that. You don't see it very often.
See, I wish like all the set pieces of the film were kind of more equivalent to that moment. Like I wish they would have just been like fuck everything. Let's just do like I feel like that scene made me believe that you can make a whole film and all the like scenes and set pieces are just like fake, almost like play like props. Like you have your restaurant and then the background is like fake. You could be in a car and the windows are fake, and you could just like, as long as you kind of commit to that tone, and then you just have extremely, or you have really good performers and like some sort of core at the center, like people would just like be game to be in that world. And I don't know, I think that's interesting. Like I don't know if anyone would ever do that, but
There
it
are
makes
some
me
like
want to do that. Like
you're reminding me of some movies, and of course, I'm horrible at remembering things off the top of my head. But like,
oh.
there's one called The Forbidden Zone. I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
ever heard or seen. Very weird, low budget movie made by Danny Elfman's brother, who's
Wow.
a musician,
Yeah.
and made this movie with his like bunch of actor friends in the 80s, and super low budget, but they just commit to like the God. Speaking of a total opposite example of a movie musical that's way better actually
Oh,
because
it
it's
was a
like
musical.
yeah, it's a musical and it's
Oh my god.
super low budget, but the music is really good. Like the music's good and the lyrics are good, but and so it's like it doesn't matter that all the sets are basically just look like cardboard with like cartoon. It's a very cartoonish kind of, almost like a Tim Burton sort of esque look to it, but it's like, yeah, as long as the music's good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know, like and it committed to that look. It committed to the absurd cartoon, cardboard cutout sort of look. So yeah, you could definitely do that and make it work.
Well, speaking of that, because I like that part of the cheap budget constraint causing a creative result, right? But I think one part of and like I hate every time it would cut to this, I would like want to fucking screech. It was like the SGN celebrity gossip news.
Oh
And
God, yes.
what did you think about?
Oh yes, I agree. God, those sucked.
Yeah.
Like no effort. You're just like, wow, okay, they put no effort into this, like
It
for
it
no reason. Because
yeah.
it's not like it cost more. It's just you just make it look realistic. I don't
Well,
know.
it looked like they made it more expensive by making it look like it was less effort. Like
Yeah.
like all the outfits the characters wore in that were unrealistic. Like everything
Yes.
just felt fake. Like their glasses, the way they moved, the like camera, the green screen backgrounds. Like I don't even know why they even I don't know. And it happened like 5 times and like each one was progressively worse. And then like the on-screen text which was like family drama, drama.
It was so bad, yeah. And it's not even, that's the other, again, once again, like if it was like a parody, maybe it would make sense, but it didn't even seem like it was a parody. It seemed like it was just trying to be that. So I don't
Yeah.
even, it was bad. Yeah.
See, like you could cut out all those scenes, and I don't think it would change the narrative at all because, I mean, all the narratives being spoken to you in song, anyways. Like, there was nothing learned from those moments.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. That was just like a exposition kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of unnecessary because then you would see what happened. And also, did their relationship make any sense? Like, maybe it was those segments that made it worse, but like I felt no chemistry between them at all.
Yeah.
Like those two, no chemistry at all. It didn't really make sense why they were together. I guess it was supposed to be just kind of one of those celebrity relationships that doesn't make sense except for the fact that they're both celebrities. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That really hurt because it's like I didn't really feel like it. I didn't feel anything that strong when she died, and because their relationship wasn't that strong. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it was silly.
Yeah, in all reality, I feel like Marion Cotillard, who is also like an amazing performer and like in so many rights. Like she actually does like theater and like opera shit. Like she's like fucking legit actor, like doing craziness. But I feel like her character got like the short end of the stick here cuz like she had no like reasoning for anything. She had no motivation, no agency, and like her whole character was just flat. She just existed there. And then like even when there was that one drama point of like did he abuse these women, she never even confronted him about it, yet there was like a 10-minute like that car ride and then the SGN news and all the visual stuff, but then it's never like, I don't know, it's never like brought into conflict, which is like why even set it up if it's not a conflict point. And I don't know, her character just felt like it was like it just got the scraps. And I mean the film itself wasn't good, so it's like the scraps were worse.
And I think that was because it sounded like because these two guys, like the band, when they were writing the album, like they write the albums to like perform. So like originally they were going to be the two main characters. Like one of them was going to be the Adam Driver character and the other one was going to be the composer character in their original version, that they were going to perform. And so, yeah, the female, the opera singer, she was just like, because they were just going to get someone random to portray her. So like in the original story, like the only two important people were the composer and Adam Driver's character. So it kind of made sense because they talked about that, how she didn't really have much to do, or in the original she wasn't much of a character, so they had to like kind of rework it and make her more of a character. But even then it's like, yeah, they just had a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And making her an actual character.
Well, I feel like the conductor or the composer, like he didn't really have that much to do. Like I'm just trying to think like back before when they had it just as an album. Like I guess that would be an interesting version of this film if you were to cut down that Marion's character all the way back down, and then you have like a lot of the film be the conductor and Adam Driver's character just back and forth with whatever drama they have. But I feel like in this film, like it wasn't even that. Like you just got, because he wasn't he was introduced early on, but he didn't really interact with the plot until like more than halfway through the film. Like maybe the last 40 minutes of the film is when he was like actually active in the storyline.
It was probably originally like they probably had to take some of his stuff out to put her stuff in.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Jeez. So one thing I liked, and I don't know, this might make me sound like a pervert, but I like how European and foreign directors just film like nude bodies. Like it's always in a wide shot. And the reason I like it is because it makes like specifically Adam Driver when he in his like sex scenes or whatever with Marion, like he looks like an insect. Like, well, I think just
an
all
insect.
Men, yeah, like all like men's bodies in general are like disgusting naked. Like they make no sense. And then when you like when he's like thrusting against her. Like it just looks like a deranged dog, like a skinless dog doing something nasty.
Okay. Yeah,
But
hey, maybe that was intentional. Yeah, I don't know.
but but I don't know. I just like how, because I feel like a lot of like Western directors, every time I see like a sex scene or any sort of nudity, it's very cropped, it's very close up, it's like very highlighting certain elements, and I feel like that causes an over sexualization of a certain
Oh
body
yeah.
part or gender. Where in this film, it feels just everything's wide open. Like you see both of their bodies, and it's like it doesn't matter. Like there's that song where they're like, "We love each other so much," and it's literally a wide shot with Marion like dead center, being
Yeah.
like eaten out by Adam Driver, and then he like lifts his head to like finish like his
Yeah,
part of the song.
that was funny. Like never seen that before. A musical, a song during sex. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, just the way that's shot. Like my immediate reaction is like, "Whoa, this is nudity." Like it's like kind of awkward at first, but then like I don't know, just the wideness of it. Like makes it makes those scenes feel like not a big deal. Like it's not important that they're nude or naked. It's like whatever is happening, even if it's like this song is like ridiculous or whatever or dumb. But I don't know. I just like how they I don't know, I just like their perspective of filming, intimate scenes where I feel like on the Western side it's like more taboo.
Oh yeah, that's the big difference is like we're fine with like horrible violence, very explicit violence, and it's just
Yeah.
casual. But oh yeah, don't show genitals.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, but it's the exact opposite in for European movies. And
yeah. Specifically full body nudity. Like
yeah,
I feel like that I can't remember a single film in the Western side that I've seen besides like I don't know, a few or something. But yeah, I just found that interesting. Like it reminds me of this film I watched a long time ago. It was like about this guy who like is like sexist, and it was like a French film. I think he's like I'm not a man or I am not a woman or so. I forgot. It's on Netflix. But he like bumps his head and then he wakes up the next day, and then the gender roles in the world have flipped. So like all women have like the men roles, and then all the men have the women roles. So like all the men in this like alternate reality are like wearing short shorts and like crop tops, and like it's ridiculous. But I liked it because there's the one of the main actress in that film. She's like the hyper masculine dude, but she's a woman. But in that alternate reality, it's like women have the same liberties that men do. So she's like constantly topless. Like she's in her apartment, and she's just topless. Like a dude would like a muscular egotistical like bro would be in his apartment, like flexing. Like
right.
that's what her character does, and she's just like topless the whole time. And I was like, this is like lovely. Like that it doesn't matter that she's not wearing a bra or a top or what. And it's like the film doesn't like zoom in into it, or it's just like there. Like she's just drinking coffee and she just happens to not have her shirt on, and then like I don't know. It just
Yeah,
reminded me of
they
that.
don't fetishize it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's what I would like. Yeah, Americans like fetishize violence.
Mm-hmm.
Like a la like Quentin Tarantino, and like Europeans fetishize. Or sorry, wait, it's the opposite. Americans like don't fetishize like
Normalize.
yeah. What am I trying to say? I got all mixed up. But the point is, the Europeans don't. Yeah, like you're saying, it's just they have casual nudity, and
Yeah.
Americans have casual violence. But nudity is like a big deal, and it's just silly. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, yeah, this movie. So it's just kind of like there were just I don't know what else. Like it was really just the music and the comedy performances. I don't know. I'm at a loss for what else to even talk about.
Oh, one other thing that I enjoyed. Again, this reminds me of another film that I watched, but I love motorcycles in films when like the motorcycle is like almost like a little character, and I just love how like Adam Driver would have his like emotional scenes riding back home on his motorcycle, and you just kind of felt the rage with the sound of a motorcycle like speeding through a dark night is just like infinitely enjoyable to me. Like it reminds me of I'm sure you've seen Under the Skin.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a motorcycle scene in that film, like when they're like about to go look for Scarlett Johansson's character or whatever. And I don't know, it's just like one of the most beautiful shots ever. And you're just like on the bike, and it's just like I don't know.
You get the appeal of it.
Yeah, it feels like rage. And the film it reminds me of is like this Japanese film where this guy like has a motorcycle, and it's like his motorcycle is his like best friend, and it means everything. And then I don't know. There's a whole like obvious plot there, but I just like a dude with a bike.
Dude with a bike, man.
Yeah.
Seen Easy Riders?
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I need to watch that.
Dudes with bikes. Dudes with their bikes. Yeah,
or
cool.
it could be a girl with the bike too. I just feel like the bike is like the emotional metaphor for whatever conflict that character is dealing with. It's like the bike becomes that external force.
Yeah, like rage or
yeah. Like Fast and the Furious.
Right. That reminds me, like, okay, with Adam Driver's character, are we supposed to think he's like what is he? Is he like a psychopath? Is he abusive? Does he just exploit people? I don't understand. Like, I don't think they did a good job, like, making his character make sense, because it just kept going back and forth. Like, at first I was like, oh, is he like, it's that whatever, like he gets into a relationship and then he's jealous of her being more famous, and so I just thought, oh, he's going to start getting abusive or whatever because of that. But then that doesn't really happen. Then, it comes out, he was abusive to all the other women in the past, but then that doesn't really go anywhere. And then he doesn't really kill his wife. He just it's an accident because he was being stupid and drunk on a boat. But then really the only clearly like that we see bad thing that he does is exploit his daughter. Well, and murder the conductor. But I don't know. Like, it was a little confusing. Like, they didn't. Yeah. You could tell that the characters didn't really come first in this story. It was the music, and then they had to come up with characters. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like how I said at the beginning, it's like the depth in the whole film is the depth in the songs. Like that's all the depth. And what's crazy about that scene that you brought up with the women coming forward, like that made me cringe. I was like, oh man, don't, like, if you're gonna talk about this, like, have something to say. Like, what the hell is this? Like, and it's like, yes, and he abused me, and like they were all coming out, and it's like, why are y'all coming out? Like, it just felt like someone who had been reading like recent articles about women coming forward. Like, I'm gonna make a musical about that, and it's gonna be important. But then it just comes off as flat.
You know what I was watching some, like, a YouTube video about the kind of school of film that this director came out of in France in like the 80s and 90s. Like, there was kind of like this school of cinema de something. I don't know. You get the idea. But one of his other contemporaries, like, it mentioned that he was accused of sexual misconduct. And so now I'm wondering, like, okay, if he was a friend of his, was he just putting that in there just as like just to like defend that guy? Or I don't know. I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, oh, maybe that's why he put that in there randomly, because his friend was accused of that. It was Me Too'd or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it was very clumsy. They didn't, because if you're not going to do anything with that, then why even put it in the movie?
It was a bad take. And then, like, it didn't add anything, and it didn't, like, it was just wasted space. And like how you're saying, like, they never externalize, or like Adam Driver's character never shows what's bothering him or what's like getting to, like, is it the fame, is it the money, is it his comedy sucks, and then like he's never really abusive before the moment that I guess he like accidentally kills her. So like even the claims of him being abusive and manipulative didn't really make that much sense. Like you think you'd tie that into the character and it being like that habitual thing or whatever. But I guess if you're looking at it from the point that the accusers were lying or something, if he is like defending his friend or whatever, if that's why he put it in, then I guess it makes sense.
Stupid reasons. I don't know.
It's dumb.
I mean, did you find the movie pretentious in general? Like, because especially the comedy scenes, like, there were some things where I was like, wow, this is like a really pretentious person writing this. And I guess if the band wrote it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's one line where he's like, uses the word abyss, and then he's like, indicates that he doesn't think the audience knows what the word abyss even is. And he spells it for them. And I'm just like, it's one of those, like, I feel like if you make a pretentious character in a movie, you have to be really careful to somehow indicate that this is only the character and not the writer. because everything else about the movie, just the fact that the two main characters are these successful, rich, people, and are also pretentious, it tempts me to think that the writers of this are those people, and they're not criticizing these characters. They are these characters, So I just hate that, because that's what I was like, man, like, are we supposed to, what if the, because, I mean, overall, I would say, like, Adam Driver's character is pretty despicable. Like, he, like,
yeah,
I feel like the average person would think, yeah, this guy is just creepy and kind of, and yeah, thinks very highly of himself. But then I'm thinking, whoa, what if the writers don't think that? What if they just think, oh, this is a troubled artist?
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, because the audience doesn't get what he's doing, and so that's a little weird when that happens, where you're like, oh, maybe the creators of this are as pretentious as the characters in this movie. I just see a lot of people calling this movie pretentious, and I don't think it's just because of the artsiness of it. I think it's also because of that, because the characters are pretentious but are not criticized for it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of the very beginning of the film, where you start with, like, on a black screen with the voiceover, and it's like,
oh god, yeah,
pay attention and don't breathe. You are not allowed to breathe in this whole film. And it's like setting it up like this huge experience. And then it starts, and then that intro musical, I was like, wow, this is absolutely horrible. Like them, like, walking down the street.
Oh, that set a horrible tone for the rest of the movie.
So the two older people who are, like, in the band that start walking out, like, those are the Sparks brothers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But yeah, and then they, like, crouch in front of something, and then they all go off on their own ways. I was like, oh no, this is bad. It won't be that bad. It'll be better. And then it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I was like, I lost most of my hope with that, because I'm just like, what a horrible way to start this movie with the repetitive, just boring song that was really annoying, and you just wanted it to stop, and they're just walking, and yeah. And yeah, that beginning little monologue thing, I laughed at it, because I was like, this is supposed to be tongue in cheek, right? Like, this is supposed to be funny, but then it's like, maybe not.
That's serious.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it makes you wonder. These people just didn't do very well at, if they were actually going for satire, they did not do a good job of indicating that, of poking fun at themselves.
Yeah. What's crazy is that this opened at, like, the Cannes Festival this year, and I just imagine being in that audience, and just, I don't know, I'm sure the audience, like, ate it up, because
I mean,
all premieres get, like, a premiere bump because all the actors and directors are there, so, like, they're all very supportive. But I would have been like, god damn, what happened?
Yeah. Like, no, of course. I saw a video of them getting the standing ovation at that, and the premiere, and just, the classic, 5-minute standing ovation. And it's just like, really?
Minimum 5 minutes of clapping.
Yes, with the awkward, like, the camera getting up in their face, each of the actors' faces, to show their forced reactions to that. Ugh, gross. Yeah. Oh god, and that go watch that interview, like the beginning of that Cannes interview for this, or the roundtable thing they do. with the reporters, like it made me really dislike that actress, Marion Cotillard or whatever. Like, oof. Like someone asked her a question, a reporter asked her a really simple question. Like, so, how did you prepare for, how did you prepare on set for these, musical scenes? And she like took it the totally wrong way and like got really bitchy and was like, she was like, what do you mean prepare? She's like, I don't know why you say that. I prepared ahead of time. I was very prepared for the scenes, and like just totally like misread. It just came off really. I was like, ooh, like this lady seems very, very pretentious, and I don't like her. So yeah, that. And then the director is super awkward in interviews, and Adam Driver wasn't there, so you didn't have that. And then just it was very awkward.
He never does the press junket. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen an interview with him about whatever film.
Yeah.
Like now that like even the Star Wars stuff, I'm trying to think back, and like the only thing I can think of is like he did like an SNL thing for promotional stuff, but like I don't remember him ever being with like the rest of the cast. Like I always remember like Daisy Ridley and like Poe and all, like I always remember all of them, but I don't, for some reason I can't remember him.
He's pulling the Daniel Day-Lewis and just like, I'm not going to do any press for my movies.
Like it probably doesn't.
I wouldn't either. Yeah,
that much.
I think about it and I'm just like, it has to be hell. Like I feel really bad for actors like after they make the movie. Just the fact that they have to do that. They have to go do all these interviews where people are just asking the same questions.
They all suck.
And it's just
sucky questions.
And no matter how you feel as an actor about the movie, you have to pretend that you love it and it's the best movie ever and the director is just the best director ever. And it's just like, oof, that would suck. Like I would not want to do that at all.
See, my goal, like if I ever make it, I just want to show up on like my favorite podcasts or like interviewers that I like or like shows that I enjoy, and I would just be selective as hell. And I think you'd get the same result, because if someone wants to look at an interview, I mean, and you only give them 5 options, then like I feel like it's like
they'll find it.
Yeah, like what are you earning from giving an interview to some random like French newspaper that may or may not have X amount of readers?
I think it's very like old, pre-internet, just kind of like old school thing that shouldn't be around anymore.
Yeah, I could just like stream Fortnite for 2 hours and get the same audience.
Right, yeah.
A Fortnite with Adam Driver. So what did you think about the film?
Oh, God. Yes.
Oh, man.
Did you the chorus? You know what we haven't talked about? Like the chorus thing, where like throughout this movie, where it's just like all of the people, like it's the biblical thing of like, or like I guess old Greek plays used to do that, where there was a chorus of people where they would just all speak together, and it didn't really make sense logically, but they did it in this movie as well, where it's just a chorus of people all saying, like, Henry, what are you doing? Like,
oh yeah, like in the comedy.
What do you mean? They did it in a lot of scenes, but especially the comedy. Some of them were funny, like when it was like one person just like yelling out like something like come on, Henry, like just something, I don't know, just like it was kind of funny just thinking these people are just like talking to him. But yeah, and there were some funny shots, like there was like, I don't, if you remember, like I think it's when he gets shot or fake shot, and there's like a shot of the audience, and there's one guy in the middle just like laughing, like, and just having a great time, and everyone around him is like looking at him like he's weird, or they're shocked that he just got shot. But yeah, I thought there were some funny little shots or moments in the movie that also reminded me of better movies and better directors, but just didn't come together as a complete thing.
That part where he got shot, I thought that was like, I mean, that's pretty ingenious, like that, the idea of that, but the way it was like performed, like the way it was executed was like crappy, because like there was no real joke, but I feel like you could have made a very evil, cynical joke at the end of that moment. It's like, look at all of y'all so scared. I don't know. There's like some comedic truth to that, because like I just remember like the first row of people, like they all like got out of their seats and like started ducking because they were like holy shit, because it was like realistic like automatic weapon fire, and then the
Right.
way his like body just like fell immediately. I don't know. I think that would be like the ballsiest comedic joke if like someone did that in a sold out theater. You know, like imagine some big comedian pulling that off. Like that would be that would be insane.
Well, or the killing the wife joke. That's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, and
Like, to be honest, I could see that, like actual, certain types of comedians actually doing that, and it'd be funny. But yeah.
See, I wish maybe all his jokes were that level of like almost evil, just like disgusting or something. But I don't know. Oh,
I liked that. Oh, I was gonna say the other recurring thing I liked was the smoke making him cough, and he really really hated the stage smoke.
Yeah.
Every time he went through, that was genuinely kind of funny.
I think that at first I thought that was like part of a skit, but then
Right.
like now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, wait, what if he actually just didn't like he was actually like allergic to that or some shit?
Yeah, no, I think there was like, I don't know, one of the like second or third time that it happens, like the way he reacts to it, it's real. Like he really hates it.
Yeah.
And he's just really annoyed that he has to go through that every time.
Oh, one other thing about his performance on the comedy, what I really like, I don't know if the set designers or the prop people or whoever came up with this idea, but his mic has like this long rope, like just 50 feet of like cord, which that is not normal in like most comedy bits. It's like a wireless mic. So I think someone made that choice, and like I just loved how you can see like Adam Driver kind of using that as like a tool of expression, like how he's pulling the rope and he's like stepping over it, or where he even uses it to like simulate like him hanging himself with the mic.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like all of that was like pretty fucking genius.
He
like,
did as much as he could with it. Yeah.
And I love how he still like had it wrapped around his neck, and then he just like, instead of unwrapping it to use his mic, he would just like kind of like angle it up to his mouth.
Yeah, man. Did you watch to the end credits? Like, did you watch through the end credits, like that scene, the very last song of the movie? That's kind of like a goodbye song.
No, there was there a post credit?
Yeah. There's like a mid credit song that's basically like the first song, but just saying goodbye to the audience. But it's funny because there were like some lines in it that were basically the YouTube cliche of a person at the end of their video being like, all right guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like there's like lines in the song like, share this with your friend. If you don't have any friends, share it with a stranger. Like it was really cringy. It was I was like, oh god, that's not good.
See, this makes me want to watch the Sparks documentary that Edgar Wright did.
Oh, he did a documentary about this band?
Yeah, like it literally came out like a couple months ago, I think.
Ew.
And it's gotten pretty good reviews. But I just don't understand this band. Like I don't understand how you make this music. So like I kind of want to watch that. And then that makes me think like, why didn't they just give this to Edgar Wright? Because like if Edgar Wright would have directed this, then it would have been like a visual masterpiece. The songs would have still probably sucked, but like god damn.
Yeah, I could see it. Like the editing would have made it more interesting, but oh yeah, this band. I tried to listen to them on Spotify today, just going through their top hits, and I was just like, no.
Did it feel like this? Like just super
no, it didn't.
Obvious lyrics?
Surprisingly, no. Like their top songs from various albums, like the lyrics were better. So I was like, why were they so bad in this movie? Because the lyrics weren't that bad, and the music was, well, the music's pretty bad, or just not my taste, but it was more, there was more variety to their music.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, wow, they just put really low effort into this one.
Yeah.
Just really weird.
I mean, it feels like someone who's like, again, with the Super Bowl and all that, and the comedian It's like someone who's never actually listened to a musical wrote a musical.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I start singing everything.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God. This movie.
But yeah, I think I'm burned out. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Definitely am. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. I see one note where we already commented on how the doll looks, but yeah, that whoever
it looks
designed
like Chucky.
that, yeah, it was horrifying. Like there was the moment where it starts singing and like the little lights are crawling across the room. And it had like a little spotlight on its eyes, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. When there was the first scene where it shows it as a toddler, and it's like walking through the doorway, like to the mom in bed, and I was just like, I think I would just throw a book at that thing if I saw that. If I saw that thing opening my door, I would throw something at it because that is horrifying.
That just made me think. All right, imagine a realistic horror film, right? About a couple, they have a daughter, and then the daughter is like this ventriloquist doll, right? And it ages, but it's made out of wood, and then the doll wants to kill you, but again, it's made out of wood, and it doesn't have like super power strength. So and like like imagine like a realistic horror film where it's trying to kill you, but like it's just a little piece of wood. So you're like throwing books at it, and you can like
go away.
Like stop. But then like when it's chasing you down and like biting you viciously, but it's like unsharpened mouth wood, so it's just like it's just like two planks of wood just squeezing your skin gently.
No tension at all, just like.
But the music would be horrifying. It'd be like John. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would make for a hilarious horror film.
Or you made me think of another alternative where it's like a Charlie Kaufman sort of movie about this couple that has this baby that's just this creepy wooden marionette, and it's just about this couple like not liking their child. And so it's just like that reflects, and it's just like, I don't know, I imagined like a really intense scene where one of them just literally just flings it against the wall or something.
My God, yeah.
And it's like this, it's like really depressing and kind of like an Eraserhead sort of plot, but with this little creepy wooden doll child.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful metaphor. Like, all right, this might be mean, but I've seen some people's babies, and they're scary. Like some babies are like scary. Like it's because they're like, I don't know, their proportions are all messed up.
No, I agree.
I agree. Like I would be horrified. Like I would be extremely scared if my baby looked all freaky. And then I'm also dealing with the sense of like, am I going to be a good father? Like all that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you could wrap all that up and then just have a freaky wooden baby, and then that'd be like how you're saying, like the metaphor of the whole thing, and then them not being able to deal with it. And then I just think it'd be hilarious if there was like a scene where they go to like a friend's house, and they're like, "Hey, does my baby look weird to you?" And then they look at the baby. You show a close up of the wooden freaky baby, and they're like, "No, it's adorable." And it's like everyone else sees a normal baby. But
my God! Yeah.
All they can see is this like wooden freak show of a baby, and they're like, "We need to get rid of it." Like I don't know, like they just go paranoid, but it's really just about the paranoia of parenthood, like the commitment, and they're like both not ready for it, I guess.
It would be like, have you seen that movie Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling?
Mm-mm.
Ever seen that one? It's like a movie where he's like a creepy loner and he gets a sex doll in the mail, but he thinks it's a real person. Like he's having a mental breakdown, and he thinks it's his girlfriend. So like everyone else around him just decides to be nice to him and also pretend that it's a real person. But it would be like the opposite of that, where everyone else sees the baby as real, but the parents see it as this horrifying doll. Yeah. Oh man.
I think we need to write. I think that would be like, that could easily get on Netflix. Like I can see the meme content,
Yes. Yeah. It would be a comedy. Like Like for sure, yeah, just like a stupid comedy. It would have like Seth Rogen and shoot, what's that? Who's that? The people I'm talking about.
Florence Pugh. Just so I
No,
could work with her.
no, but I mean, I get your motive, but nah, it wouldn't. It would be like super bad kind of cast, that kind of movie. But yeah, that tone, but with a wooden baby.
We need to start writing these as like Cineverm originals and like selling them.
Just copyright it and just like just have it available for when someone discovers it, and it's just like, wow, that is just genius.
Anyways, we're done talking about this one.
We're for sure done.
All right. So thank you for listening to this episode of Cineverm. We would be grateful and humbled if you could leave us a review with your thoughts or comments, and if you could share us with your friends or family, as that helps us in our journey to spread the love of cinema. We'll see you next time.
See you.
Cineverm.